guys, we're giving a little bit of an update here on the 72 Challenger. As of right now, the body is officially on to the 2010 Camaro, and it's not coming off. Not going to jinx myself, not even going to say nothing. I've only tacked it really just to hold the body in place where I want it. I've measured everything out, and this is where we're at right now. I do kind of wish that it was a little bit forward because of the front fender, but as you can kind of see right here at the gap, I've just got the front end sitting on there, seeing what it's going to look like, making sure everything's going to fit, and it is going to fit. So this front end is actually going to raise up just a little bit. As you can see, we're closer to the front on the front, and we're closer to the back in the back. We probably could have gone just a little bit more, but I'm perfectly happy with how the rear wheel is on the Challenger. So we'll just have to figure something out for the front, but I'm not going to do anything yet until we have it hard mounted, know exactly where it's going to be. As you can see, like I said, we're going to be moving that fender and everything up a little bit. Today we just got our coilovers installed. So long story short, the fenders would not fit with the stock Camaro strut towers. So I basically chopped those off, and then I plated up underneath it, welded it all the way around, welded some up underneath it. It is really stout, really thick metal that I put in there. Me and my dad both have jumped on the front of it. There's no flexing whatsoever. So definitely happy with that, and I'll show you guys that here in a second once I get the front end pulled off. But that being said, lowering the strut towers actually raised the car about 2.5 inches. We put the stock struts in, and the car was sitting up super high. I believe I have some footage of that. And so I ordered a set of $300 front and rear coilovers from Max Peating Rods. So far, I'm 100% happy with it. Obviously, the car has dropped back to a almost perfect level. You've got to think that we'll have the front end on it, we'll have the motor and transmission, everything sitting into the car. It's going to drop down actually a little bit more, so we might have to raise it up. But there was about 6 or 7 inches between that tire and the top of that fender when we were test fitting before. So as you can see, the coilovers did exactly what we needed them to. We have enough travel, at least for me. Me and him jumped up and down on the front, and we couldn't get them to bottom out, so I'm perfectly happy with that. And that was the biggest hurdle we actually had to do. If you can see at the bottom, that little primered area there, is actually a 2x6 rectangular piece of tubing steel that we put on both sides of the vehicle on the floorboard to reinforce basically outside frame rails for this car to really beef up the floorboard, make sure we have no problems there. And so far it is working out amazing. To kind of get in a little bit closer, down at the bottom here, you've got this lip of where the old Camaro rocker was. We're going to be cutting that downward lip off of here, and then we'll take a jack up on the bottom of this, and we'll start from the centers and work our way up and weld those two pieces of metal to the bottom of the 2x6. So really, only that primered portion there is what's going to be sticking up past this car. We've cut out this portion so the fender can go in. We'll cut out this area here, and then we'll kind of plate that in, or we'll cut it at an angle up and out. We'll just kind of have to see what we do. Right now it's all just the fitting and testing phase. We did get the door on. Gaps are good there. We did have some damage here that we flattened and straightened out so far. Our gaps are going to need a little bit of work. They're a little bit far from here because we had damage on the door, but nothing we can't figure out and fix. Going to the other side, we'll kind of look at what we did with our 2x6, kind of show you guys on the inside. So this is the inside of the Camaro rocker here. We cut it right down the length of the Challenger pinch weld, and it's actually welded to the top of the 2x6. And then what we're going to do is this pinch weld for the Challenger is going to weld straight to that piece there, all the way down, frontwards and backwards. Here in the back portion, we actually had to cut this portion of the floor off so that the 2x6 would sit flush all the way. So the back of the Challenger here will be welded straight to that 2x6 all the way down. It's stupid beefy. Adds a little bit of weight, but it was worth the sacrifice because this is going to be plenty strong. I'm not going to have any type of worry in the world about this not being safe to drive. Going to the back side of the vehicle, everything's going to be super simple when it comes to plating. As you can see, we don't have a lot of gaps to fill. I do have a brand new rear portion for this. We've got our new portion here, new deck lid. So once we come in here, we're just going to be plating the Challenger to the Camaro all the way around. The rear section of the Challenger wheel wells, I was able to cut those really nice to basically butt right up to the Camaro. So that'll just have to be welded there, plated here. For the front here is going to be probably the trickiest part when it comes to doing anything. But for right now, we're just kind of getting it all set and getting ready to get this thing wrapped up. But for now, I'm going to get this front end off, show you guys how we modified the strut towers, and we'll go from there. All right, so we just got the front end snatched off. Kind of wanted to run over how we modified our strut towers to basically level out with the front of the Challenger. I know we talked about this a little bit, but we dropped the Challenger down into the dash of the Camaro just by cutting the top of the dash with a die grinder. I was able to pry up a top shell of this, and then I just had to cut out some plastics and everything fit pretty good. For the sides, I've bought a big piece of steel. We're going to plate this entire side and weave it into the Challenger body. Probably plate it into the 2x6 as well to give us some strength back there. Here you can see the plate that we basically cut out the shape of the bottom of this to let it overhang on the underside, and then welded it all the way around. I'll grind this down and probably go back with a wider second pass as well on top of this, just to double make sure. I've already ground out over here. I didn't go wide as the other side on my welds here, so I've got this ground off. I'm going to go ahead and do that wide pass for this. I've already welded the bottoms on both sides, so there's no flexing whatsoever. Like I said, we both got on here and there's no flex. It's definitely, I'm happy with it. Down here you can see our max peating rods. We've got our coilovers installed, as well as the adjustable sway links, sway bar end links. And that was able to get us down where we need to be, and it is low. Like, you can see how close the subframe is and stuff. We might even have to come up just a little bit, but that was probably my biggest worry with doing this and having to modify the strut towers, is that I knew it was going to raise the car up. It was 6 to 7 inches that we needed to come down, and now we're sitting on the fender. So we definitely got the lowering that we needed to get out of these front coils. So even if we just end up using the fronts, $300, I'll pay that all day to get rid of a huge task that we needed done on this car. Is for like plating all of this stuff off. You can just kind of see what we're going for here. I am going to come around here and cut this outside layer off to basically make this what would have been the firewall of the Challenger, to really give it a different, totally different look. You're really not even going to tell that this was a Camaro, except for, you know, maybe the dash and interior seats and stuff like that. I am ready to put a seat in this thing, see where I sit at. There's so much room in here, it's not even funny. I love it. I'm 6'3" and like a half, maybe 6'4" on a good day, so this car is going to fit me perfectly. I'm really happy with how it's turning out, guys, so please stay tuned. Sorry I'm not doing a lot of the process work. It takes a lot to set up the camera and keep moving it and editing and everything. I just want to keep you guys up to date with what we're doing on the build. It's coming along super fast, but I do have to get back to other stuff in the shop, so we're going to start sticking with every weekend working on this thing. So you guys stay tuned. There will be a video on this every single weekend until it's finished, or at least on to the road. And we're going to definitely take this thing to a bunch of shows this summer. So if you're local to Lower Alabama, hit us up, come hang out with us. And yeah, stay tuned. I appreciate it. Peace.